Multiplying fractions really isn't as bad as it sounds. In fact, there's 3 easy steps that you should probably copy down into your books. Number 1, multiply the top numbers, the numerators. Number 2, multiply the bottom numbers, the denominators. And then finally, simplify the fraction if you need to. So let's look at this example. Half times 2/5. So step 1, multiply the top numbers. 1 times 2 is 2. Step 2, multiply the bottom numbers. 2 times 5 is 10. My answer is 2/10. Step 3, I need to simplify the fraction. So I can divide both of these numbers by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So my answer is 1/5. Here's a nice little visual kind of reminder of what we've just done. So we started with 2/5. We then had half times 2/5. And when I'm doing multiplication with fractions, it's nice to remember that times means of. So I wanted to know what half of 2/5 was. So I've cut both of the fifths in halves, which has left me with 2/10, which simplifies into 1/5. Have a go at these in your books. Press pause, complete them, and then press play when you're ready for the answers. Question 1. 3 times 2 is 6. 10 times 3 is 30. I can then simplify that. I can divide both of those by 6, which will give me 1/5. Question 2. 2 times 1 is 2. 4 times 2 is 8. And I can simplify that, divide them both by 2 to get a quarter. 3 times 2 is 6. 10 times 4 is 40. I can then, 40, not 10. I can then divide both of those by 2, which will give me 3/20. Number 4, 2 times 2 is 4. 5 times 10 is 50. 4/50 will go down to 2/25. Divide them both by 2. Question 5, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. Divide both of those by 4 to get a third. And the last one, 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 4 is 8, leaving me 1/8. If you've got a couple of mistakes, but you can see where you went wrong and you understand, that's fine. But if you need to speak to a teacher about this, do this now. If you are able to multiply fractions, you can definitely divide them. Again, 3 simple steps. Step 1, you turn the second fraction upside down. This is now reciprocal. Step 2, you multiply the first fraction by that reciprocal. And then step 3, like before, you simplify. Let's have a look at some examples. So I've got a half divided by a sixth. Step 1, I turn my 1/6 upside down. So it becomes 6/1. Step 2, I multiply the first fraction, which was a half, by my reciprocal. Okay, just like I did before. So multiply the top ones together. 1 times 6 is 6. And the bottom ones, 2 times 1 is 2. Now I simplify. 6/2 is the same as saying 6 divided by 2, which gives me 3. Another example for you. I've got an 1/8 divided by a quarter. So, step 1, turn the second fraction upside down. So it becomes 4/1. Then I'm multiplying my first fraction by my reciprocal. 1 times 4 is 4. 8 times 1 is 8. Then I simplify. 4/8 is the same as a half. Have a go at these in your book. Press pause and then press play again when you're ready for the answers. Question 1, keep my 1/7, turn my 13/16 upside down, and I'm going to multiply them. So 1 times 16 is 16. 7 times 13 will give me 70/91. Can you simplify that? I don't think you can. I'll come back to it in a minute and check though. Question 2, I've got my 5/8, turn my 4/14 upside down and times them. 5 times 14 is 50, 60, 70. 8 times 4, 8, 16 will be 32. Can I simplify? Yep, I can halve them, which will give me 35 over 16. And then I could also turn that into a mixed fraction if I had the room. Question 3, keep my 4/5 times by 20 over 1. So that will give me 80 over 5. 80 divided by 5 is 16. Question 4, keep my half, times it by 7 over 2, which gives me 7 over 4. 7 divided by 4 gives me 1 3/4, or I could have kept it as 7 over 4. Question 5, 11/12 times it by 10 over 6, which gives me 110 over 72, which again I know I can simplify down to 55 over 36. And my last example, 2/3 times it by 8 over 4, which gives me 16 over 12. Divide both of those by 4, which will give me 4/3 or 1 1/3.